Well, hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting iteration of DMV Sports Media live on YouTube in our coverage of the UPSL. This is DMV South Conference B Division action tonight. Doradus hosting Petrolero FC. When I say B Conference, it is no indication of the quality. Two parallel conferences since the expansion of the DMV South, and this is going to be a top-class matchup tonight. Doradus, of course, playing at home, looking to get back in the winning seat after a tough away trip to Los Toros last Sunday. They fell by a score of 2-0 against a strong Los Toros side that has not lost in 8+ matches across all competitions. But Doradus will certainly see themselves as a contender for this DMV South B Conference. I'm Noah Walker. I'll be your commentator tonight, your broadcast host. I'll be joined by my co-anchor, Mr. Matt Geyer, on this very special broadcast. We are so glad to have you with us. Please consider hitting the like button and, of course, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already, and get an opportunity to follow all the best live coverage of DMV soccer, amateur, semi-professional, all the leagues, competitions, and teams right here on YouTube for free. Get your score predictions in, of course. Let us know who you're here to watch. Are you a Petrolero fan, or are you here for the home side, Doradus? Regardless, we welcome you, and we're so glad to have you with us here on DMV Sports Media. You're home for all the best coverage. It is Easter weekend, and maybe not as many matches as we're used to covering, but we still have solid 4 matches. We've already covered Arlington, who dispatched Villarreal without too much trouble in that DMV South A Conference match earlier. Bridgeports and Chiefs saw a much closer competition. 1-0 was the result last I checked. Bridgeport finally earning that sought-after 3 points. And this is going to be an international walkout and anthem in just a moment. Get your predictions in now. We have the international walkout. We have the anthem coming in just a moment. Right now, a meeting of the captains. Our center officials do their part of making sure that everything gets off without a hitch tonight. I assume the lights might be the next matter on the docket. No, Michelle, unfortunately, no coverage of the Virginia Dream match tonight. ASA Reds have not contracted us. They're allegedly putting it on Huddle, but I haven't been able to access it. So if you're an ASA fan, write your congressman note. Talk to Alexandria. Let them know we're here. We'd love to do their coverage, but no, unfortunately, we do not have the Virginia Dream Alexandria Reds match tonight. Well, we're glad you're here, Michelle, and we hope you'll stick around for what promises to be an exciting and important matchup here in this conference. Everyone else who's here, make yourself known. I know we got some familiar faces out there watching, tuning in. Let us know where you're watching from. Again, get those score predictions in. Are you a Doradus fan, Petrolero fan, or just here tuning in? Regardless, we welcome you, and we're so glad to have you with us. Tonight, Doradus will wear their all-black kits with red trim. We're going to have the international walkout and the anthem in just a moment. Looks like we're ready to go. Here we are. Beautiful night here at John R. Lewis Stadium in Springfield, Virginia. Spring has finally sprung under the lights here. This beautiful venue. 2 top-class teams ready to go at it, pursuing points. Doesn't get any better than this. Make yourself known in the chat. Get those predictions in now, and please hit that subscribe button and the like button to help others find this video in the algorithm. We'll now rise and honor the flag, playing of our national anthem. That, the walkout is done, the anthem is played, and we're ready for action here at John R. Lewis Stadium. A scintillating matchup here between two sides, ready to get back in their winning ways. It was Doradus who fell 2-0 at the hands of Los Toros on the road, and Petrolero likewise fell 2-0, but on a road trip down to Grove. Excuse me, it was either Grove, Lynchburg, or Blue Ridge. If you know, let us know in the chat. I do know that the result was 2-0 and it was a long drive down the way. Regardless, we are ready for action here under the lights at John R. Lewis. Petrolero will start wearing their all-white kits left to right. Doradus, of course, will wear the black with red trim. In goal today, we'll have the familiar face of Jack Pinson. His leadership, his communication, and his talent exceed his young years. He's a man who plays the position like one of many more years than he is, but he will be important tonight in that back line. In front of Jack Pinson will be Nathan Pazmino, another important player, this time in the middle of the pitch. He will see a whole lot of the ball and will help Doradus get up the field. Also in the lineup tonight, Jonathan Tesfaye, Marvin Vasquez, Kyle Welch, Andrew Turan, Gerardo Silva, Leandro Sainz, Marlon Nanju, Quincy Marshall, Eusebio Macedo, Adam Bemberek, Justin Cuffey, Mustafa Diao, Kenneth Kelvier, Milton Juarez, Abdul Kabani, Williams Lopez, Brendan Luna, and of course the coach today will be Mo Onibuso, with his staff Sandra Pazmino, Victoria Pazmino, and Jorge Pazmino. In goal today for the away side, Petrolero will be Joseph Centeno. Centeno will be the goalkeeping coach tonight. Christopher Perez will start between the net. Young Perez will be tested today, and we'll see how he fares against this potent Doradus side, hungry for results. Anthony Argueta will be an important piece up top, who will be the outlet for Petrolero. And Axel Cardozo, Anthony Nana Amankwa, Robert Cassell will feature prominently. We are ready to get kicked off here. Kickoff moments away. Get those predictions in. Let us know where you're watching from. And of course, any players to watch. It is going to be Petrolero starting off on the ball, playing left to right, wearing their all-white kits. Doradus will play right to left. Sanana Manqua standing over this one. Beautiful night for footy. These players absolutely buzzing, ready to get underway. In this first ever matchup between Doradus and Petrolero. Looks like a slight delay. We were just checking out the nets, making sure we were good to go, and we are underway. Petrolero will send one up the pitch, well dealt with initially by the back line of Doradus. Lopez tried to chase that down, didn't get there. Now it is sent back by Pazmino. Doradus easily able to weather that initial storm. It's sent up to Williams. Lopez, not the pass that he had in mind, and we will see Petrolero take over. Always a bit of early nerves in these matches. We'll see who adapts quicker. Shouts for a foul. It is given against Doradus. It'll be a set piece right around midfield. Number 10, Frederick Ferguson. Or Petrolero will stand over, will deliver it to the top of the 18. Pinson off his line. Doesn't deal with it initially. And finally picked up by his colleague. And there, it's sent away by Lopez, but not convincing with the initial defense from the set piece. Doradus will send one over to the far side. No connection made. Now it's Amanqua showing off his agility, able to get back and hold off a defender. And here we go. Petrolero trying to feel out any weakness. Sent down the line in the direction of Castle. Lopez trying to make things difficult, but only able to get behind the ball. Sent down the line. Petrolero showing good patience initially. It's sent up towards Amanqua and away. Right back in. And it's contested here on the near side. That one will travel over the touchline. Here's Amanqua, not able to hold on to that one. Finally sent back to Pinson. Pinson under some duress. We'll get it away. Second ball repossessed by Ferguson. Here's Frederick Ferguson. Going back to Castle. Now on the near side. Petrolero will continue trying to mount their attack. And it looks like that attack has stalled. This one took a touch off of the Petrolero man, and Doradus will have a throw on the near touch. Sent down the line. A little too hot to handle. It will be back in the hands of Petrolero. Ooh, that's a stumble from Castle, able to get back on his feet and affect play just enough. And finally, Williams Lopez, already very active on both sides of the ball, able to get a touch to it, slow down this counterattack, and allow his teammates to get back. That was an optimistic ball sent in the direction of Amanqua. Now Doradus on the other side. Fantastic challenge. Had to be clinical there, had to be accurate, and timed it with the precision of a surgeon. Able to get on the ball and make the challenge just in front of the Petrolero face of goal. Now sent down the line. It has taken a touch, and Petrolero happy to march their way down. It's a battle here, and quick pace. Still the ball kept alive. Pezmino will send it forward. Ping pongs around. Now Pezmino able to settle things down and slow it for his teammates. Ooh, that's a mistake from the back. Petrolero back on the ball. They'll settle it down. Ooh, it's down the line. Maybe not a necessary pass, and will be a throw on the far touchline. Not quite yet. Oh, here we go. And we are underway. This one's sent down the far side. Petrolero mop it up. It's sent right back inside. Here come Petrolero. A lot of space there. It's Argueta trying to square one. Well defended, and finally will trickle out. I'm joined here now with my co-anchor tonight, the one, the only, Mr. Matt Geyer. Matt, welcome.
Thank you, Noah. Great to be with you tonight.
I appreciate making the trip over. Just out of curiosity, what was the final score in that Arlington-Villarreal match?
Ended 9-1. Villarreal came out hot in the second half, scored about a minute in, almost got another chance, and then that was kind of that.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, we saw them throw a little fight there in the beginning of the second half, but I think the eventual scoreline, the result was always a certainty there, just based on what I saw from play. But glad to see you made it over, and now we've got hopefully a more level matchup. Already we're seeing good things from this young Petrolero side. In my estimation, I had Doradus, the home side, pegged as the favorites, but seeing some really good stuff, some really good possession spells from Petrolero, and I think Doradus hasn't gotten settled into this game just yet, but certainly a much more level matchup than we saw in the last one.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think we're seeing the top 4 or 5 UPSL really sitting clean at the top. In the next few weeks, they're going to start playing each other, and should make for a lot of fun.
Yeah, certainly. This one's sent into the corner. Pinson will stay on his line, but doesn't really need to come out as help. And now it's Williams-Lopez. Lopez finding Pezmino. Pezmino always comfortable in those situations, but I think that was wise to not try to get too many touches on that. Sends it away, and now his team is forward on the counter. It's flicked on, but
fantastic little back flick there.
Yeah, absolutely. It was clever, but Petrolero's back line were alert to the danger. Now it ping-pongs back and forth. Here comes a Manqua threading a ball through the middle. Narrow margins, but unable to thread the needle on that one. From Petrolero again. Milton Juarez getting there to affect play. Get some help. It's a clean challenge. Now Doradus will get across midfield. It's served up top. Goalkeeper comes and just able to get on the end of that one, but it was a nervy moment. Very touch and go there.
Certainly looked like we had a collision coming. It looked like anyway he was going to cleanly walk away with that. Did an excellent job. Some good fight by the Doradus forward without any unnecessary damage.
Yep, absolutely. This is forward for Manqua, all by himself. Manqua, can he send this back? He can. Still no square ball. Doradus have bodies, and clever little move to engineer a set piece, engineer a corner kick from a play that kind of had stagnated.
Doradus certainly looking to defend Noah here early on. Got 10 of the 11 players in the defensive end on this corner kick, not taking any chances. However, 2 specialist players up about 20 yards out, unmarked.
That was a lovely service, and the header goes wide. Not as close really as I thought it would be. It went all the way to the touchline for a throw, but the initial service, really a strong one.
Really just a matter of a few inches, went off the top of the head sideways. he gets his forehead on that, that's on goal, and he was really pretty well unmarked.
Ferguson was the first to it, but couldn't maintain possession. Now Doradus have won it back. It's sent down the line and away, leaving no doubt with the clearance, but I guess he didn't think that one through. There are plenty of other balls right there on the sideline.
I think that ball's in the neighborhood now.
It's in the neighborhood, and he did it so he get his time for his defense to get back, right? But it's not going to work out. They're here in the UPSL, they mandate you have extra balls ready to go on the sideline, so it really didn't gain much by his clearance there. This one dumped to the top of the 18. Pinson at the outer reaches of his 18, able to collect. Thankfully, he didn't have any pressure, but that could be a really nervy moment for a goalkeeper when the ball tests you at the limit of your 18. Ooh, this one demands a good back ball.
Defender that just kind of stood square forward. You would teach a young defender to turn, allow the goalie a better view of the ball, and the goalie to know for sure that you're not playing it. Guys at this level are expected to be able to play that, but that's where mistakes happen.
Absolutely. It was a good ball over the top, and it was one that demanded a solid back pass, not a, as a play is expected to make, but we do see those, you get the nerves, you mistime the header, it ends up popping up in the air or not getting any pace, and then the attacking player can get on the end of it at times. So again, miscommunication between the two players. And it will be a Doradus throw here in the 11th minute. Sent across the pitch.
We're seeing Petrolero with the same defensive mindset to start. Only one Doradus forward up and 3 defenders back on him. Neither team is taking any chances early on. They're going to feel this out. Probably see things start to shift about the 20th minute typically.
Welcome, KJ. Always here in support of Doradus. That's right, KJ. Get the chat going. I know there's more Doradus fans in the chat. Make yourself known. This is an opportunity for a shot. Well blocked by Quincy Marshall. Williams Lopez finds the second ball and sent forward. Goes back. And maybe a confusion with the lines, but that one sent out. Now it's Milton Juarez. He's got green grass ahead of him. Milton Juarez still driving. It seemed like he had found tons of options but couldn't find one of them, and now it's Petrolero on the other side. Frederick Ferguson tagging in Castle. Fantastic touch from Argueta. Here comes Ferguson, takes the shot. Was able to let it loose, but only into the side netting. Take a quick look at this replay.
Got a chance to get a full shot, get his laces on it, get proper technique on that shot, and that could be a whole different story.
Throw from the far touchline. Clear possession finally travels out for the benefit of Doradus. Of Juarez. Here's Milton Juarez finding Williams Lopez. All the way back to Quincy Marshall. Doradus benefit from having 2 really strong holding midfielders in Milton Juarez and Nathan Pazmino. Pazmino, granted, playing a bit of a different role, seemingly higher up the pitch today, but those 2 will feature prominently. This one travels over the top. It's Argueta working and not finding any space, but will get the foul. There was no advantage given, and our center official.
Looks like he gave the initial advantage and then called it back when nothing materialized.
Yeah, that's the right decision.
There's no official amount of time that you're allowed to bring back an advantage. Usually it's pretty understood, 2 to 3 seconds, if nothing out. Players still had a chance to take them on one-on-one, but for sure, this is just a fantastic spot for a free kick. over on the side, bending in, 4 players far post.
Ooh, Castle puts it to the backside. That is positive goalkeeping from Pinson. We saw early on, Pinson didn't look confident on the first ball in, and he responds really well with a strong punch coming out and getting that one away. Let's take a look at the replay as this one travels over the far touch. Pinson, quick footsteps, able to get there, and strong enough punch to send it away from trouble.
I think Petrolero was looking for a little bit more of a bending ball. That ball went straight, gave Pinson a little bit more of a straight-on approach to it. If that ball's curling, bending, it's bending into players, away from Pinson, in a much tougher play.
Strike from distance, did not catch that one cleanly. And it's going to be a goal kick to come. Anticlimactic from what seemed to be a strong drive for Doradus. It was Mustafa Dial. Petrolero playing one over the top. It's a Manqua, the intended recipient, but Casmino able to get it forward. Here's Lopez all the way back to Pinson. Pinson sees something he likes. We'll get it through.
Nice work, Freddie.
Lovely turn. Quick feet in and around the 18. It's sent back for Cardozo. And no dice on the end product, but positive play from Petrolero. I think it's Silva to take. Excuse me, it will be Andrew Turan.
Petrolero with a Doradus still able to get out though.
Yeah, that's Williams Lopez. He is featured prominently. Now ball over the top. That's far too vertical. No chance for Nanju or Williams Lopez to get on the end of that.
Really nice idea was trying to play that backspin ball. Just kind of hoping to more chip it and have it spin back into Williams Lopez.
Second ball won well by Doradus. Petrolero resetting the attack.
Go, Freddie! Go, Freddie!
Great ball down the line. Petrolero do have bodies forward now. Is there a service? It's still alive. One of those uncomfortable balls in. But there is a foul. There was a late challenge. And the Doradus man goes down. Will be set piece coming out. Eusebio Macedo, player slightly slow to get back on his feet, but Macedo is okay, and we will play on. Set piece for Jack Pinson and co. One of those might be one of the real ones. I just quickly sent the pictures. This one's sent up the pitch. It's a great flick on from Nanju, but no player more vertical than Nanju, so the ball just trickles innocuously into the goalkeeper for Petrolero. There's a Manqua trying to do the best he can all by himself, but unable to hold this one up. It's sent over to Turan.
That was a beautiful, booming 55-yard ball by the goalie, right on the head of his man. Gave him any chance he could, but 1-on-4 wasn't looking good.
Yeah, always going to be a tough ball to get that one to your lone striker. Oh, this is good connection play. Williams Lopez showing off the acceleration. Lopez going to work against Perez, sent across, begs for a finish. It's cleared off the line and bundled in. Milton Juarez with the golazo. It's 1-0 for the home side. And what a goal, Matt.
Yeah, I think if you're the visitor there, you feel like you had some chances to clear and get that out. Was not quite done. And then just a nice little tap in from about 2 yards away. Immediately looked to see whether the flag remained down, and it did. No argument from them.
Hey, I tell this to teammates, to colleagues all the time. The ball doesn't care how it goes in the goal. You could have, the most amazing Puskas contender goal. You could touch every player 3 times before going in. It's still going to count as one goal, just the same as one that gets bundled over the line from sheer effort and persistence. And Doradus happy to have the lead.
The expression we use on the golf course, Noah, is there's no pictures on the scorecard. It can hit a tree and end up on the green and you take it. And it makes up for those times where you hit a beautiful spot, beautiful shot and get a bad break. Sometimes you can do everything right on the field, absolutely bang a ripper of a shot, and it nicks somebody and hits a post and doesn't go in, and then you get goals like that. It seems to even out. When you're putting pressure on the other team, good things are going to happen.
Absolutely. Mill, maybe they will have even more confidence now to get forward. This is defended well. It was another uncomfortable situation for Petrolero. Will be another set piece. Doradus will have an opportunity to send this one in by the foot of their number 15. That is Mustafa Dial.
Doradus still only sending 7, keeping 3 defenders and a goalie back on just 1 forward with another player in between. So in essence, 4 players marking 1. Doradus certainly came in tonight with the mindset to really stay solid defensively, not take too many chances going forward, at least early on.
Absolutely. Mustafa Dial will send an in-swinger. And here we go. Chance for Doradus. It's a good delivery sent in by Williams Lopez and an own goal. Williams Lopez, in my book, gets credit for this goal for fantastic rise to get up to this one. Sent it off the top bar and then off of the Petrolero player. Credit to Mustafa Dial.
I love the leadership there. He then ran 60 yards to thank and congratulate the guy that hit the corner instead of taking all the credit himself. That's a sign of a great player, a great leader.
Yeah, absolutely. Tough break for Perez. I mean, in my book, I don't think he could have done a whole lot. He was right there on the line. The ball ricocheted right to him. I mean, hindsight's always going to be 20/20 there, right? But I think that's a tough break for the Petroleros, man.
It's a really unlucky bounce. Again, Doradus is making things happen, and that's what you want to do. But inches either way, and we're at 0-0 instead of 2-0.
That's the way the game goes. Doradus know that all too well. They've had some tough breaks themselves. The last few weeks, they've been really in these games and probably deserve a few more points, but they're getting some of the breaks fall their way this time. Like you said, over the duration, right, you are going to have things swing against you, just the same that they're going to go for you, and their patience has been rewarded tonight. This one's pinged into the corner. That's one of those balls that looks lovely off the foot, but no real direction, no recipients on the end of it.
And those are the things that separate our sport. You take basketball, 70, 80 points scored in the night. Soccer, that one goal can change everything.
That one doesn't find the goalkeeper with the back pass. It's an audacious effort from range and doesn't really get anywhere near the face of goal. Goal kick to come.
Again, trying to bend it, cut too much of it. But I'll tell you what, this defender number 3 out here for Petrolero, their captain, is really holding up well. He's been on an island 2 or 3 times with Doradus' top skilled player and really has not gotten beat yet.
Yep, absolutely. Branco Perez sending one back. And well defended. Sent to Nanju. Onwards we play. Nanju walking, lovely save. It's still alive. And we will have a corner kick. What a save off of Nanju's strike. The goalkeeper, Christian Perez. Didn't get a lot of time to see this one, but he not only got behind it, but he got a little bit of distance. sending it into a safer area. They are going to have an in-swinger in just a moment as the replay.
And that was definitely the case where the referee allowed advantage. The initial foul was outside the box, would not have been a penalty kick, went right to the Doradus forward, and he allowed it to continue. And then once the shot's been off, you really can't call it back. They refer to that as double jeopardy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was well officiated because it was really a strong chance. If not for the save from Perez, we might be looking at 3-0.
I think if that foul happens in the box, that's an automatic call, but the difference between a yard there is huge.
Absolutely. It's Joel Ciros who made that last challenge. Putting a corner for Doradus. Another ball that looked strong, but over everyone. So either Doradus are going to need to put someone trailing at that backside, or these servers are going to come off of the service. Doradus doing a great job with their game day presentation today. And we had the ball kids lined up for the walkout. And little things, they make the game day experience so much more pleasant.
Doradus leads the league in ball boys and ball girls, and just overall staff on site. They have their own little home headquarters tent. They do an excellent job.
Yeah, it's sometimes the expectations, and they take them seriously. Like, this is Doradus' first season in the UPSL. Many seasons, and they just are so jaded in some ways. They don't really feel the need to do these little things. They say, oh, you know, it's in the rules, but no one does it, right? That's why it's so helpful to have new blood. They read the rules and said, that's how we're going to do it, and we're going to exceed the rules. We're going to do it even better. And they've done a great job here in their first season, building something special.
I think Doradus is going to be one of those clubs that does it right for a long time to come.
Yeah.
Our club with great ties, and ties to the DC women's power team, to Loudoun United. They're doing it right. They're going to be an up-and-coming team to watch here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's doing things right off the field precedes success on the field. Doradus by no means have been unsuccessful off the field. They've done, but I think we're going to see even more success as players are drawn to this type of environment. They'll have the coaches, of course, and the resources certainly will continue to follow as they do things the right way administratively.
They're about 4 coaches strong, and it's some unbelievable coaches with incredible resumes.
This one's sent up into the midfield. Petrolero get the first touch on it. Here's Joel Claros. Good work from Nanju. Applying pressure and forcing that mistake. Here comes Williams Lopez. Lopez with the clever little back heel. The strike from distance, anticlimactic, but it was a well-worked position. And Petrolero will thank their fortunes that they weren't punished there. Final strike taken by number 22. That is Kyle Welch. We'll see a goal kick for Petrolero. Boomed into the midfield. Here is Milton Juarez. Juarez under some duress. Can he find a teammate? We'll find Quincy Marshall. Pinson was begging for that back pass, but the ball forward has kind of panned out.
Well, that's a case of a ball that just misses by a couple yards. He can play that ball 2 more yards inside into space. His player can run onto it.
Ooh, lovely return pass sent in, and a goal. A third for Doradus. Golazo, golazo, golazo. And here Doradus sailing high right now. A third. The goal scorer here is Kyle Welch. Welch, he had that catastrophe of a strike a few minutes ago where he did not make a good connection at all. And that time he absolutely more than atones for that misplay with a great run. He took a perfect first touch and then easily able to play it outside of the goalkeeper from close range.
lost in all that was an incredibly smart play by Williams Lopez. He was in an offside position. He worked his way back, allowed his teammate to make a run forward in an onside position, and the goal stands. If he just stands there and either receives the ball or affects the goalie, then that play gets called off.
Yeah,
just such a smart player.
Absolutely. Williams Lopez has been one of my favorite players these last few weeks. He just brings so much on both sides of the ball. When he's off the ball, he's chasing it down. He's vigorously pursuing it, sometimes to his own fault. We did see him get 2 yellow cards on a Thursday night matchup. Really unfortunate. It wasn't anything malicious. It's just that's how he chases down the ball. This one's sent in and well defended by Quincy Marshall. But on the offensive side of the ball, likewise, high energy, really athletic, but high IQ too. And you see it there on full display, creating that goal for his teammate. Petrolero will have a service. It's Ferguson.
And as we talk about him, he's down there on the 6 and gets the header and gets it out.
Absolutely.
Their best offensive weapon is down there protecting their goal and their goalie.
Yeah, fitness tends to be a factor that not overlooked, but it's hard to see it, right? You can see strength, you can see speed, right, outright, but fitness tends to just appear as how often that player is on the ball. It's kind of the invisible force that allows the player to just be everywhere for the duration, and he has fitness in spades. Ooh,
if you're a coach, you want your best skilled player to be on the ball regularly.
Yep.
We are less than 40 minutes into this broadcast. I've probably mentioned his name close to a dozen times. That tells you. Sometimes you see those great players and you get to halftime and you're calling their name for the first time. And the talk at halftime is going to be, we need you on the ball.
Helps us out too. If I show up and it's an unfamiliar group to me, I got Williams Lopez, I got him, and then I'll figure out the rest. Because I know he's going to see a lot of the ball. I know that Nathan Pezmino, Milton Juarez, those are players that are going to see a lot of the ball, and it's played out exactly the same tonight.
I think you could put them with 8 of John R. Lewis's high school players, and we would see them on the ball dominating throughout the night.
A lot of these players for Doradus are very recent high school players, some of the best players from the area, in the high school area, and wanted to continue playing after high school, after college. This is going to be a set piece, an early caution, a yellow card for Ferguson, who's just showing a little bit of frustration, and which is to be expected given the scoreline, given how this game has gone. And well dealt with.
And we are here at John R. Lewis, which is a 6A perennial powerhouse in Virginia State soccer. Won the state championship just a few years ago. Team struggling just a touch this year, but still having a good year, but just a phenomenal program. So it really is kind of a hotbed of an area for soccer. So much good soccer in this Northern Virginia, especially Western Northern Virginia area.
Yeah, absolutely. I see a question that keeps coming up in the chat. Where's the Dream Game? We do not have the Virginia Dream Game broadcast, unfortunately, for you tonight. That's Alexandria SA's responsibility. If you are an Alexandria fan, let them know that you'd love to see broadcasts, and we are more than capable of providing it. What a service. Welch rises well to it, but unable to put it on frame. Back to the earlier point. Yeah, unfortunately, we won't have that, but allegedly it can be found on Huddle. Haven't had any success myself, so I think you're stuck here with us, but we've got a fantastic game. This is a Manqua. Found himself almost in. Quincy Marshall did so well to get back and neutralize the threat. Now Argueta sending it in.
They're one of the best traps and passes of the whole night. We just saw from the ball boy.
Love it.
Little man out here played that ball nicely to the player coming on for the throw. Love when they're engaged and obviously love the game.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a cool opportunity, right, for young players passionate about the game to see some of the coaches who they look up to. I'm sure there's at least 1 or 2 of these players who may coach these youngsters. There's always a connection. And this is who else but Williams Lopez getting forward, almost in, were it not for the fantastic challenge.
I think that's
Ready to play, bud!
Coming over from number 5, Joel Claros, who's seen a few fantastic challenges. Unfortunately, Lopez is down, and we hope that he is all right for the sake of the game and, of course, for his sake as well.
I think there's a chance that touch actually went off him, but they are calling it a corner. It does look like he got his ankle wrapped up there at the end.
Yeah, a tough break for a player who's been so impactful today. Spent so much time running up and down the pitch, and it wasn't that the tackle was in any way malevolent or anything bad. It's just he was fully extended, he was moving fast, and sometimes that can be when you make a misstep or even the slightest contact can stir up those injuries.
Really was an excellent, excellent tackle. Certainly a dangerous spot to give up a PK or get hurt yourself. Was that where to win the ball cleanly?
Absolutely. I'm getting asked, KJ is saying Arlington versus Villarreal replay. Well, the match is live, right? Well, it's not live, but it's on the channel if you want to check it out. The final score was 9-1?
9-1.
9-1 was the final, so maybe not worth watching right now, but at some point we'll have the extended highlights, of course, within the next couple of days.
If you're an Arlington fan, Noah, lots of good stuff was going on.
Yes, I'm speaking from a neutral participant, not exactly a nail biter,
No.
But no, absolutely. Arlington, resounding result, one that they certainly were looking for to show their dominance. They're a side that even sometimes in a victory, they will be disappointed, and I think they were coming off a result where they won the game, and they won it forcefully, but it wasn't a comprehensive performance last week in so far as they've come to expect, and the message was, this week we dominate, and they certainly did just that.
Yeah, we commented that even in the last 10 minutes, they were attacking and had as many as 6 and 7 players into the attacking third of the field. So they were looking for him evenly. A couple beautiful goals.
Asmino sending one across goal. Well, it has traveled over the end line for a goal kick, but you'd like to see better and earlier clearances from the defenders there. I think just was allowed to bobble and possibly cause issues, which has been the downfall of Petrolero a few times today. Here's Argueta running right into the challenge. It's Branco Perez. Send this one in. Sends one across the 18. Lovely bit of skill. Quincy Marshall does enough. Here's the strike. Oh, what a strike it was. Just wide from Pinson's goal.
If that's on goal inside that left side panel, then he's got it. He had Pinson beat. He had it curling, and it just curled out. Really a nice strike. Kept it on the ground. Pinson no time to really react and get there.
Yeah, absolutely. That was Justin Zapata who took the strike on. Really well taken, but fraction of an inch wide.
The game's feeling very lopsided, but yet it's really not been. And if all of a sudden that's 3-1 before halftime, that's a whole different look going into halftime.
Yeah, certainly. We've seen games at 3-0, not necessarily meaning that they're done and dusted. It's all about how will Petrolero, track down this game. Do they have the fitness? Do they have the mental toughness to stay locked in for this one? And right now, the answer is not no. I certainly like their response and how they've been able to stay in this one. Again, engineering a set piece for themselves.
Again, going into the second half, they're going to have to make a decision to throw more bodies going forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right before that foul happened, we counted 8 Dorado players inside of 25 yards. And that's certainly not going to change for Doradus going into the second half. So if they want a chance, they're going to have to really match and outnumber them going forward, which means they're going to take some chances in the back But when you're down a field goal, you got to take your chances.
Yeah, that's right on. We'll see how they elect to approach this set piece. Standing over the ball is number 8, Jeffrey Serrano. Serrano, a player we've seen lined up for LAIFC at times. Certainly not outside the range of potential strike, but that would be a Herculean effort. This one, not what Petrolero had in mind. Well wide and no pace on the end of it.
Just lacked a little creativity. Doradus had 3 in the wall, and the short pass they played really was in the direction of the wall. So didn't off-foot anybody. They played into the teeth of the defense. They had 6 guys lined up on the far post. The ball bending in might have been more dangerous at that point.
Good ball. This one will ask the question of this back line. Doradus have to be careful in and around their own 18. Don't want to concede a penalty. And that is well defended. Sent away by Juarez. Nanju gets on the end of it. Still working, Nanju. Gets some help, and now certainly going to be a set piece, a foul. One against Welch. Sent towards the corner, well defended by Andrew Turan.
Folks, we were with you Wednesday night for a fantastic BSSL match, one of those 3-0s that ended 3-3. But our advice that night was stay home, stay warm. Tonight's a night that we encourage you, if you get out, if you're close by, and come see us for the second half. We're here after 7 o'clock and we're still in the 80 degrees. Just an absolutely beautiful Easter weekend. Great night to take in a game and just enjoy the weather.
Yeah, a lot of supporters out tonight, of course. Beautiful venue, but even more beautiful weather. This one, pinballs around, the strike taken. Kind of a half chance, but not gonna trouble Pinson from that range. Well wide. There's something that seemed to materialize off the ball, but come to nothing. Here is Ferguson dancing at the top of the 18, takes the strike on. Pinson holds on. Great goalkeeping from Jack Pinson, alert to the danger, and he'll wait and let his teammates get up the pitch.
Ferguson, really a pretty special little player. Unfortunately having to do a lot by himself tonight. Took on several players, much like Williams Lopez has been all over the field all night. He's been on the ball continually. Done some pretty good things, pretty special things at times.
Well, this was a bit of a nervy moment, kind of unnecessary. Pinson put it right into Amankwa, and then the clearance. It would be a foul. How did you see that one, Matt? I didn't see the foul. Was it that the attacking player Amankwa ran into the leg of Doradus? Did you see a foul there?
No, I really didn't. That was the case where a guy goes down and somebody yells, and I think refs feel like they've got to make a call sometimes.
This one's squared to the backside.
We didn't have a great view. There were several bodies in there, but
yeah, absolutely.
I think that's a tough one for Petrolero, one that they would probably like to have seen called and viewed a different way.
Yeah, or just let it go. I don't think I saw it wasn't a foul against the Doradus man either, but I didn't see anything Petrolero. But again, we're not down there at field level, don't have the best angle. So.
The ref tonight's doing a good job. If you notice, he's in the picture continually, finding himself close to play, reading play well.
So trickles all the way to the touchline. And Doradus be happy to go into the half with the status quo. They're obviously in no rush to get this one back in. Here comes Milton Juarez finding Nanju. Now out wide. Oh, a lovely bit of skill. Milton Juarez keeping it going. Nanju threading the needle for Williams Lopez into the side netting. What a sequence of play that was. Tragic for the sake of Doradus and for the sake of the beautiful game that one wasn't capped off with a goal. But lovely back and forth one-touch passing. Just no finish to cap it off.
Kind of what we think of tic-tac-toe passing on steroids. That was absolutely beautiful. About 5 touches, got there, and you just had all the confidence in the world William Lopez was going to find a corner. Nice little chop step, but just a second late and cut the side netting instead of inside that near post.
Argueta, he thought about maybe engineering a strike from distance, but thought better of it. Now it's Petrolero committing bodies in what could be one of the final efforts of this first half. It's sent to the 18, and Pinson is on top of it.
That's going to frustrate a coach, Noah. They sent 8 bodies forward, and instead of working and playing somebody that had space, just kind of drove a long ball, hoping and praying.
Nanju all by himself, but able to come out with it. Nanju taking the strike and scoring the goal. What a goal. Nanju showcasing his strength by himself, basically holding off 2 bodies. That is grown man football right there. Nanju showing off the work in the weight room and celebrating with his teammates there. It's 4-0. That's heartbreak for Petrolero. What a gut punch heading into the halftime whistle. Any thoughts on that one, Matt?
Oh, you know, I kept thinking it might be a foul call, but Petrolero really didn't argue. Good, strong play. He was going to fight through. If you're going to play a 1-forward system, you either need a strong sort of point forward, they call it, that you could play the ball into and can win those situations, or you need somebody with exceptional speed and quickness. So that's why the system's working, only playing 1 with such a strong ball holder that they have up there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the reason, the way I saw it, that it wasn't called, that I saw as much, if not more, kind of jostling, pushing from the Petrolero defenders there, and it's just that Nanju was a little bit stronger, so he wasn't moved as much, but there was jostling, there were hands being pushed into his back, so you know, our center official decided it's going to go both ways, we're going to let it go. I think that was the right call, honestly.
Yeah, I think so, and not that people complaining, because as a referee you find out that everybody complains about everything, or somebody complains about everything. But there was very little complaint by the Petrolero squad after that.
Yep.
I think they understood it was just a good fight by a big, strong player.
And credit to that, not blaming it on anything else, just picking their head back up, Petrolero. I have been impressed by elements of Petrolero's game, despite the scoreline. I think they've had some rough breaks. Make no mistake, Doradus has been the better side throughout 45, but Petrolero, they are a side that could make some results. They're just a young side that's in the growth period right now.
And if you look at their back line, it's considerably smaller and slimmer than your typical back line in the UPSL.
Yeah, absolutely. And that can have its merits, right? There's certain things that they can do. I've seen some really fast make-up speed challenges. Joe Claros has covered tons of distance, gotten to the ball, but in those physical moments with the forward, you do lack a little bit. You also tend to be weaker in the air. This one trickles to the feet of Jack Pinson, and that's as good a time as any to blow for the halftime whistle. 4-0, a convincing halftime score. Maybe I was wrong about this one being a more level affair than our earlier match, but what are your takeaways from the first half here, Matt?
It is not feeling like a 4-0 game. The game we just came from, the Arlington game, 9-1, and arguably not that close. This is a 4-0 game that feels like a 1 or 2-0 game. Doradus has made their opportunities. Petrolero's not threatened Pinson that often, but it's had some chances and a couple quicker, better decisions, arguably, and they could have had some more chances. I feel like we're just not that far off. I don't know that I see 4 goals coming from them, especially with the way this Doradus team defends and the numbers they defend with. But I think we've got a good game, and I don't know that the score is quite as represented. You're Doradus, you've made the most of your opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree that this has not really been, in my estimation, a 4-0 game. Petrolero have probably are like they've been good enough to score at least one goal. A couple of those were just very unfortunate bounces. The own goal, the goal that preceded that, but it comes down to work rate, and we've seen that in spades from Doradus, and also some really class movement of the ball. So fair result thus far, and we'll see you for the second half. Thank you so much for joining us here on DMV Sports Media YouTube. For those who celebrate, a happy Easter to everyone tomorrow, and for everyone else, just a happy Sunday and a happy week to you. And we will have one match tomorrow at 8 p.m. Langley High School, a special APL matchup, Los Toros and Aegean Hawks. DMV Sports Media will be working on Easter so that you don't have to. You stay home with the family, but put on some footy on the TV when everyone's getting tired later in the day. DMV Sports Media gives you carte blanche to hijack the TV from the family, put on the game, and bring it up as a conversation starter. My recommended Easter holiday activity is DMV Sports Media, Los Toros and Aegean Hawks. We're going to take our union-mandated break here for the halftime. This is UPSL DMV South. Don't forget to drop a like on the video, and please, please subscribe. Both of those will help others find us and this video in the algorithm. We're going to take our break. We'll see you in just a bit. Second half. Well, hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is a second half action of the UPSL DMV South B Conference. Doradus hosting Petrolero here at John R. Lewis Stadium. A whopping 4-0 is the first half results. I am joined here with my co-anchor tonight, the one, the only, Mr. Matt Geyer. Welcome again, Matt. What were your impressions of that first half?
Second time we've gotten to see this Doradus squad in just a couple weeks. Definitely a fun team to see. You see the senior coaching staff, and you just see such an organized team. Again, they're holding back defensively, but yet getting 4 goals in the first half, knowing when to attack, how to attack. So it's a well-coached, very disciplined team. They're not a flashy team. They're not a team that stand out with a whole lot of individual play other than maybe Lopez Williams, but they're looking good. But again, it doesn't feel like a 4-0 game. So this is one of those games where things could change pretty quick. The first goal is going to determine everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're spot on in that they didn't line up, with a super aggressive, committing players forward, and that can be the paradox, right? In committing players forward or not committing players, sometimes you open up that space and, you can catch teams by surprise. You can catch them on the break when you don't overcommit forward. And I think it was a connection of that, but also just some scrappy moments in the box, some unfortunate moments for Petrolero. That was a good service.
Yeah, I think that's it. And I think it's a matter of 2 special players. Big number 9 here up front has done some good things. Got that last goal, just taking 4 or 5 shots from defenders, giving them back, won it. You've got a couple special players, you can do some really good things. But other than that, they're just 9 very good, solid, technically sound guys playing an incredibly organized set right now.
Absolutely. Doradus going to send bodies forward. Jack Pinson will stand over this one. He'll launch one all the way up the pitch in the direction of Nanju. Now sent in. Goalkeeper Centeno off his line well, able to collect. Doradus will settle this down. Here's Asmino. Back to Andrew Charon. Nervy moment. Welch had a quick second look at that ball. Got a touch to it, but not able to find a clear path to goal. And Centeno will pick this up. This one's flicked on, but no recipients on the end. Pinson will take this to ground.
I have to say, it's really been a pleasure tonight. Both teams have just played just so professionally with such class. We're not having the confrontations and the altercations that we so often see. Players are getting fouled, helping each other up. Both teams are playing hard, playing physical, but none of the extra stuff. Makes it kind of a pleasure to see just good, solid soccer played the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a fair point. Sometimes it gets treated almost as if it's part of the game, the extra stuff, the complaining about the calls to the referee, the mini fights, the altercations between players, and it's really not. It's not. You can have a really physical game, you can have a contentious game, and you can do it without all the extras, and this is clear evidence of that. Credit to Petrolero for not making this something else, and it's something that players, you can lose the game, you can still walk out with your head held high as a man, as a person with high integrity, or you can choose to go the other route and lose the game and also lose yourself. And credit to Petrolero. They may lose one, but they're not going to lose the other tonight.
And the same argument, Noah, can be said for the winner. You can win with class, or you can win without class.
Yeah.
And in our area with so much high-level amateur semi-pro soccer, we see both on a regular basis.
Yeah, absolutely. This one Travels over the touchline, and it looks like it's going to go for the benefit of Petrolero. Renko Perez down the line. Now the service into a dangerous area, redirected on frame, and well held by Pinson. That was one of the best sequences we've seen from Petrolero.
Forward did a nice job to get that header, get it down as they teach forwards to do, but unfortunately right in the center of the goal, right where Pinson was. If that's anywhere else, there's a good chance that gets through.
Yeah, Najuki showing himself to be an opportunistic, strong striker in his early minutes in this game.
One of the shortest players on the field got his head on it.
Oh, what a ball that was. Really demanded a little bit more. Argueta made a great run, but unable to wrap his body around that one and keep the drive alive.
And there was a fantastic piece of defending. Little things go a long way. Defender was able to just get in there shoulder to shoulder, just kind of off-foot him a little bit while still playing the ball and not getting anything called or anything that should have been called. Without that piece of defending, I think we're looking at a shot on goal at least. It's the little things that go a long way in defending, positioning and contact.
Speaking of defending, that was well stepped. Now Petrolero, they've got a little bit of pep in their step. They have bodies forward. What can they do? Appeals for a foul, not given. Petrolero still on it, but only just.
Boy, I like the fight Petrolero is showing right now, though. I like the numbers they sent forward. They were not going to let that ball go over to Doradus. That was well fought for.
You can hear the encouragement from Coach Junior over on the sidelines from Petrolero. It's Coach Marco Vasquez urging on his young side. It's been a tough first campaign in the UPSL, but really weren't expecting it to be smooth sailing. That's not why you enter a league, a national competition like the UPSL. You do it to challenge yourself when you might be able to enter other competitions and dominate or win games more easily, and I think they've grown a lot from this experience. Well, Williams Lopez down for the second time in this match. Will this be the final one? It looks like we will get some attention on the sideline.
Looks like he's actually trying to stay on, but the trainer came on, so
yeah, he's got to go off.
He has to come off.
I think 4-0. As much as I've really enjoyed seeing him, might be a good time to let him sit, and that's what we're going to see. Save Williams Lopez for another day. He is a player to value, and there's not a whole lot of value in running him into the ground here tonight in a match that Doradus should lean on their other talents to maintain this 4-goal advantage. Excellent movement, but there's a quick shot taken, an audacious effort from Najuki, but couldn't catch it as cleanly as he would have liked. It's going to be a goal kick for Pinson. Yeah, Trill Treeks, welcome, but Stream Dream Game, that's not how it works. And that we're going to need to be contracted. But in the future, if anyone does want to contract us on behalf of Alexandria, we'd be happy to do it. If you want to contract us to do their games, we would make ourselves available, but no, unfortunately we have not been contracted, so there is no Dream Game live tonight. Dream playing at Alexandria at Limerick Field right now. In this one, it's still Doradus holding on to their 4-0 advantage. Petrolero trying to claw one back and make this interesting. Already sending one back into the middle. So finally sent over the near touch by Andrew Terran. Now sent in, not fully cleared.
A little bit of extra hugging going on. Referee Brian N says keep going.
Well closed down by Turan. Finally travels to the touch and quickly sent back in. It was Serrano who was the mover and the shaker, making things happen down there.
Almost 10 minutes into the second half, and we've really seen the ball only down this end. Doradus hasn't really been able to get it in their offensive end hardly at all. Petrolero is throwing more numbers and more effort forward, as we said they're going to need to.
It's a well-worked ball. It's taken out of the air, and Vincent happy to collect this one.
That was a very aggressive, possibly over anxious shot there. Maybe a trap serves a little bit better. Would have been a highlight reel goal had they pulled it off.
Well sent in by Jack Pinson. Zapata tracks back well to stop the counterattack. Will be a throw for Doradus on the far side. Sent down the line. Nanju able to get on the end of it, but can't connect with his colleagues. This rinse repeat. Another throw for Milton Juarez. Sent in for Welch. Closed down by Petrolero, but no clear possession earned. Andrew Tarrin will take this on the near touchline. Lovely little flick on there. Well, sent back in. Nanju has an overlapping run. Nanju unable to release it in time. Fantastic challenge from the Petrolero back line. Now lofted over the top. Oh, well taken down. Is there a final effort? Shot taken. What a strong hand there from Pinson. Pinson up on his feet quickly, able to find the ball out of the air. What a save from Pinson.
Boy, he did a nice job there. You thought the initial one was going out. He quickly realized it wasn't. Got himself up, caught it facing into his own goal. Never a comfortable place for a goalkeeper to be standing. And able to just catch a basket catch style. Billy May style, if you would. Just a yard or so off his line.
Yeah, absolutely. That was Eric Shatter Rojas who took the strike on from close range, but unable to beat Pinson. This one travels over the touchline, and now Petrolero will have the throw. Touchdown. This one pinballs back and forth. It's a real battle. Battle that is won by Nanju. Nanju slaloms one player, able to get it off his feet, but can't get it into the corner, and that's going to be a set piece against Milton Juarez. So sent back by Branco Perez. Floated down the line. Easily dealt with. The second effort.
Let's go, White!
Petrolero hitting some long balls here, definitely hoping. These have kind of worked out. They've gotten some touches. It's enabled them to get some numbers forward now.
Yeah, Justin Cuffey and Quincy Marshall working together as a team to push that one back.
Ref says not quite so far up. We'll retake the throw.
Another bite at the apple for Petrolero, and a side that has really been eager to find something on the board. You respect the fight they've shown here in the second half, up against the odds.
I have to say it's surprising. Down in the attacking box, and they still have 4 defenders back against just 1 forward. think at this point you got to match up man on man or possibly 2-on-1 and send your numbers forward. Starting to do a little bit more of that.
Another throw. Petrolero still trying to find the service in. Ferguson gets there. Here it is. And well away. Timely clearance from Doradus. Milton Juarez able to get a piece of that one. We'll send it over to Taryn. Not the service that Andrew Taryn had in mind. Nanju was an outlet option there, but comes to nothing.
Big number 9 seems to be wearing 1 black jersey and 4 white jerseys all night. Anywhere he goes, he's the solo Doradus man in the area.
And I'm not sure that the extra players, extra defenders are making a huge benefit. I think at this point there's diminishing gains the more defenders you put on him. Sometimes they can get in each other's way to some extent, and I think you just got to find your best defender, someone you trust. Yeah, it's still going to be a tough matchup, but you've got to start committing bodies forward.
I'm a big proponent in a situation like that where you're deep in your attacking third and they've got 1 forward. You put 2 guys on him, put 1 in front of them, 1 behind them.
Bracketing.
But then get the other numbers up going forward. And when you're down 4 goals, you don't have much to lose.
Yep.
It's not a case where there's a big difference between losing this game 3, 4, or 5 in the standings. I think you go for it. I think as a coach, you send a message to your team that we're really in it, and we're in it to win it, pardon the old cliche. But sometimes players really buy into that. It doesn't always work out, but it does spark the interest of players when they know you're fully in and really looking to come back and can make for some dramatic results as we saw the other night in a 3-0 to 3-3 in the final moment.
Well sent away. Petrolero not so eager to be caught on the counterattack, and we'll get bodies back now. Sent down the line for Nanju. Physical battle in there. Second one picked up by Petrolero. Lovely little run here. Oh, what a ball. That is onside. And great goalkeeping from Pinson to take this one off of Argueta. Argueta did so well to feed the ball, then collect the return pass. Now it could be Doradus in. This one deemed to be offside. That was touch and go. In my view, it didn't seem like that was going to be offside, but I'd love to look at this again. Yeah. Might have got that one a little bit wrong. It's an early release of the ball, and he certainly timed it well. Seemed to be offside, but it's a tough call to make. I get it. We have the benefit of the replay and the high angle here.
But well played by Doradus. So often the difference between onside and offside isn't the run the player's making offensively, it's how quick that midfielder gets rid of the ball.
Absolutely.
And that was the case, as you pointed out, a quick little touch pass before anybody really expected it and before his player could get offside. Just drives coaches batty endlessly when the midfielders hold the ball, sometimes seemingly for no reason, and players get offside and didn't really need to be.
This one's punched up the midfield. Here comes Cuffey. This is Nanju taken down, still going, not going to get any calls.
Our ref tonight is definitely taking the approach to let the boys play.
Yeah. It's been a good approach. I think it's really let this game develop, let it flow. It's been an enjoyable experience. Doradus will send it up. There's a collision there.
That's one where I think players are going to need to be looked at.
Yeah, it could be head injury. Both players are back up on their feet, so we'll play on. Here we go. Quickly sent in.
The Doradus player is really struggling.
Oh, really?
He's kind of stumbling out there, and it's hard to tell whether it's a leg or a head. He's apparently hurting. He's trying to get back into the play. Keep an eye on him. Trying to force himself into the box defensively.
Here we go. It's going to be a set piece, a corner kick. Ferguson will be on the delivery. Ferguson's ball is floated into a dangerous area, begs for a finish. Second bite at the apple.
Oh, just struck it wide, struck it well, got his laces on it. Caught the short hop, cut it on the way up instead of the way down. And that ball is always going to go up. Kind of hit a rising fastball there.
Yeah, absolutely. Check. This one's sent up the pitch.
We good?
And now will be a throw on the far side. Here comes Doradus. Nanju slaloming but not finding any recipients, and Petrolero could be forward on a counterattack.
You gotta love how this Doradus squad gets back. All of a sudden, they got 7 guys back. With great discipline, excellent coaching. You can just see it. I say all the time on air, I love from a coaching standpoint that when you can watch a game and you could tell what they've been working on in the training grounds that week, the defensive commitment and discipline. And the great part is players aren't sprinting back. They're in good positions already, and they're just shifting, and all of a sudden they go from 3 back to 6 or 7 back in no time.
Oh, lovely ball through. Cuffey's there, still fighting. Cuffey against Serrano, sends it back, takes a deflection. Serrano gets one up the pitch, only partially cleared. And it looks like we will be a Petrolero throw sent into the midfield, and Najuki can't quite handle that one, and finally will be given as a set piece against Petrolero. Standing over this one is Andrew Tarrin. Make the service. Doradus surprisingly are committing a few bodies to this. It's a low line drive, partially sent away. Petrolero are looking big. Over the top. And Pinson will claim.
He is allowed to pick that up since that did not come as an intentional pass from a teammate.
This one takes a bit of a nervy bounce, but no quick players there to take advantage for Doradus. And Petrolero will settle this one back to Joe Centeno. Kept alive, no. Has traveled over the near touchline. We'll have a throw for Doradus. Andrew Turan is going to be the taker. We're going to have a switch for Doradus. We'll see who is replaced. Looks like there's going to be 2 switches potentially. Well, up top, Nanju makes way. He's had a successful day thus far. And he will be replaced by number 19. Is player to be named later. Don't see any 19. Nope, that is Kenneth Kelvier, excuse me. Kelvier making his appearance. The other player, number 7, is Abdul Kabani. Oh, a crunching challenge. Kelvier, his first touches on the ball, had a lot to do there. And Petrolero will spray one into the corner. Here comes Petrolero. Sent across, and way too much juice on that pass. And no real direction. Sent over for the goal kick.
Doradus is big number 9, done for the night, looking for that very welcome ice bath. He had a great game tonight, worked hard, gave out a bunch of shots, took a bunch of shots, had a goal to show for it. That's a good night for a solo forward.
This is going to be a set piece for Doradus. It's floated into the corner. Well kept alive. But the flag is up. So set piece for Petrolero coming out here in the 71st minute.
I believe we called a throw in. I believe the ball went out of bounds on the far side before the flag came up for the offside.
Okay. So it will be a throw.
Both ARs had their flag up for different reasons.
Yeah. No matter what, the attack was not going to continue for Doradus, one way or the other.
And that play was double dead.
This is sent down the line, well battled by...
Kind of an odd throw, almost a foot up in the air like you'd see in a younger kid's game.
Doradus will make way. They'll drop back a little bit further. Well flicked on. Now it's Yuki finding a teammate. And finally, only partially cleared. That's good strength. And finally sent over the top. Kenneth Kelvier seemed to have some space to run into. Kelvier not exactly getting the touch he would have liked, and then just a bit of frustration from Petrolero. And our center official, Brian N., doing a good job making his presence known and expressing that that will not be allowed any further. But I do appreciate the restraint. You know, he understands the situation. The players are frustrated, but their frustration cannot be allowed to justify any kind of action. You can't push a guy back off the ball.
But excellent job. No need to go to cards there.
Yep, absolutely. I agree.
They teach referees, use every tool in your toolbox before you get the cards.
This one's sent through by Milton Juarez. Aya Belichu is the intended target. Second ball contested by Kabani. Kabani gets a touch, but Petrolero finding success in this midfield. Here comes Nijuki.
And again, they're going 4-on-7. Doradus seemingly has 15 black shirts on defense at times.
Oh, it's spilled by Pinson. Second ball saved well. It's going to be offside. And Pinson did well to get back on his feet after an uncomfortable shot sprayed off his hands. And
yeah, he might have taken that one, both of those, more off the midsection. Did an excellent job keeping his body in front of them.
So onwards we trudge into the 74th minute. Still, Doradus preserving that clean sheet.
And no, that's a case where the player was in an offside position on the initial shot. But if the ball goes directly in, the goal counts. But he cannot be the one to follow up on the rebound, giving him advantage from an offside position. So that's why the flag was not up until the second player got in and affected the play, striking the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And Pinson, to his credit, he made the save anyways. Looked like put the rebound into a safe enough area where I don't think that one is going to result in a goal either way, but the right call, offside, is called and addressed.
As the keeper, you have to just keep making the save. Sometimes you're thinking and hoping that the flag's up, but too often, especially at the younger ages, we see players get their hand up.
Oh, what a counterattack. Argueta, he took this one quickly, and the speed with which he took the shot, almost able to kind of wrong foot Doradus and Jack Pinson, but just wide of the far post.
Again, that's a case where if that's on frame, it's a goal.
Yeah, good advantage.
Was given there, yep. Went with that first touch, just got it out. Perhaps if he takes a quick first touch with the right foot, can get it onto his left foot and can bend it in far post, might be the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. This is an opportunity for Pinson to just get everyone up the pitch. Another booming kick from Pinson. Initially won by Petrolero. And does travel out. Petrolero taking the throw, but perhaps prematurely. It's going to be an opportunity for a substitution. And onwards we play. Off comes number 5. Defensive switch for Petrolero. Petrolero still working down that far side. They're going to run out of real estate this time. And we'll have a throw.
Approaching the 76th minute here, folks. A little bit less than 15 minutes to go. Wouldn't expect to see much in the way of stoppage time. Again, no altercations. Couple goals in this half, but not much else. Or actually, I guess none in this half yet.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to have a lot, if any, goals in the second half. It sort of feels like Petrolero is still working, but it does feel like also Doradus seem to have figured out the recipe to keeping them at bay for right now, at least. May be able to squeak one through, but I just don't see this being a multi-goal kind of half. Doradus not really forcing the issue on the other side.
Nope, so many players back for Doradus. They get a few up into the attack, but they, as we've talked about all night, they get them back so quickly, transition so well. We talked about in the earlier broadcast how Arlington transitions very quickly from defense to offense. This Doradus team transitions so well from offense to defense, gets numbers back in a hurry, and anywhere between 6 and 9 guys behind the ball at any one time.
Good battle here. Andrew Turan standing up. Ferguson still trying to find an advantage. We'll send it back to Serrano. Serrano's ball. Not finding any takers.
That was an excellent job by Toronto.
Yeah.
Or from Turan, excuse me.
Serrano will have to retreat now.
When you can trust your outside defenders to continually win battles one-on-one, that's a good sign for your team and allows you to do so many other things.
Ooh, the shot is taken. Kind of a slight sighted goal from Ayu Belichiu. Had to turn the ball from a really narrow angle on that left foot, but almost did the trick. Here's a look at the replay. It was Kenneth Kilvier and Ayu Belichiu working together to engineer this piece of play, but doesn't come off. Now Serrano touching on towards his colleague in the middle. The ball into the middle, contested by Kyle. Crunching challenge there. This one's still up for grabs. No clear possessor of the ball, and this one's taken down well and sent to Pinson.
Excellent controlled touch there. If that gets away from him, that goes to a dangerous spot.
That was a hopeful ball for Doradus. No real direction or intent. I mean, I guess Kenneth Calvier was the target, but they were ignoring the small matter of a defender in the way.
One man in the area code was about it at that point.
Yeah. It's popped across midfield. Nijuki able to somehow find a teammate. This one flicked on. Could be problematic. What a tackle. Perfectly timed. And the second one still not called. We'll come back and look at this replay in a minute, but well defended. What a challenge. I think, honestly, our center official might have got this one right. While it screamed penalty kick at first look, I do think the player and the Petrolero player anticipated the challenge, which really didn't come, or at least didn't come in force. He went down prematurely, and that challenge actually never came. So good patience and good decision from Brian N. not calling that one. I'll put that with a big asterisk. I do want to see the replay, and my apologies to Petrolero if it was indeed, but I don't think it was actually.
And again, Petrolero did not really argue much for the call, which again, they're a side that you could tell that they're coached to focus on the game and not on the calls.
Yeah.
But there wasn't, had that been more, I think we would have heard a lot more from them.
Exactly. This is still matriculating around. Here's Cuffey.
That initial challenge was fantastic by Doradus there in a dangerous spot in the box and managed to get the ball. First time they've got numbers. We've got a 3-on-3 situation. Waits a little long, little sooner on that release. Might have made a difference.
Absolutely. Let's come back and look at the contentious moment. Sent in. What a challenge here to get to the ball. Yeah, I don't see anything there in that. If anything, maybe the slightest touch between the Doradus defender and the Petrolero man, but doesn't make any intentional efforts to make a challenge. So if anything, it's kind of the Petrolero man just running across and into him. But that's how I saw it anyways.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'd love to see it again. But again, as a referee, you don't get to see it 2 and 3 times.
Yep, exactly.
The second one looked a little hanky to me initially for sure.
Oh, what a service. But really, Petrolero not doing enough to rise and challenge this ball. Cabani is the first to it. And now Doradus can get forward. It's pinged across the field. And while I'm sure that felt good and it's a pretty looking ball initially, I don't know if that's the right decision to try for the hero ball. Maybe give your team some respite, keep that one on the ground, and let players get up and get some time on the ball.
He did have a player trailing. If he brings that back, pulls that back behind him, and then continues to make his run, instead of 2-on-5, we've got 3 or 4 on 4 or 5. May look a little different.
Fair enough.
So I'm with you. I think it was a long ball, kind of hoping.
Flores stepping on into the fray, looking to lock this one down for his team.
The sign of great players is they seem to always know who's everywhere around them and have eyes on the back of their head for both their own players as well as defenders.
It's popped up by Petrolero. Belichick gets a touch in there as well, but down the line. That one is a good advantage played. Certainly a foul that could have been given. Still the advantage being declared, and now the advantage has gone. Here we go. Serrano winning it back. And Ferguson not able to hang on to that one. There's Cabani. Oh, that's good battle. Milton Juarez still hanging tight in this game. He's played every minute of the 84. Still able to affect the play. Oh, that was Tesfaye turning into trouble. This ball will trickle over the far touchline for a Petrolero throw deep within their own area. Scott Crowder, welcome, Scott. Welcome, Crazy Legs and Trail Treeks. Scott says, honestly, I think Petrolero made the jump to UPSL too quick. This APL second division to UPSL is a big jump. It's an interesting perspective. We'll come back to that. Here is Doradus engineering a ball into the box, well cleared at the back. Fantastic defensive intervention to send this one away, but now Petrolero will have to outlast this corner. It was the defensive intervention from number 17, Robert Cassell, that made the difference there. And now it's Tesfaye to send one in. Tesfaye serving one to the top of the 18. That one a bit too much zest on the ball. And this one has gone. Yeah, as far as making the jump too early, I think there's more than just results. And I can't speak to any of the other things. I don't know what the Petrolero situation is behind the scenes. But as long as you're able to meet the minimum standards of the league, and it's not, putting your club in an undue financial burden or administrative burden, I do think that these UPSL teams, when they start, they do tend to attract players and attract growth. So I'm sure whatever that APL second division team from last season is completely different from the roster you're seeing. And yeah, they've had some tough results, but sometimes it is a good way to grow your team, and they haven't been getting embarrassed. We haven't been seeing score lines that absolutely shock. 4-0 is obviously not where they'll want to be for the future, but I think the script is still not fully written as far as Petrolero. Yes, it is a long way to jump, and maybe it'll be that it was too much of a jump in the long run. But right now, I think I've been impressed with certain individual things from this Petrolero side. I think Coach Marco Vasquez is doing a good job with the lessons he's instilling with his team. And certainly, it's a well-coached team. It's just maybe they don't have the personnel, the experience right now to get the results. This is going to be a set piece.
To your point, Noah, you're going to get a much better level of player if you have a UPSL team versus an APL 2.
This one's sent in. Well claimed by Centeno. The ball sat up for Abdul Kabani. Now Petrolero sending one over the top. Final 3 minutes in this one. If you can, just watch the tapping because this gets sensitive. Thank you. Sorry. It's good. Pinson taking every minute and every second off the clock to take some pressure off his teammates. I think Doradus and Pinson are content with the 4 goals. They want very much to keep the clean sheet for tonight, though. Let's see, Marshall sending it forward. Now Marshall will just play it safe. And possibly an opportunity for Petrolero to commit some bodies forward. It wasn't the best clearance we've seen from Pinson all night. He's got a booming kick, but that one didn't come off cleanly. It looks like Petrolero going to make another switch ahead of this throw.
This Doradus team looks like you're playing a video game. You just turn the dial, and all of a sudden, 8 guys are back defensively.
Yep, there's no shame in just kind of seeing out the result. I think right now they know where they're at, and there's no funny business for them.
I think your point of the clean sheet really important to them. I think they're looking at this season as to what their goal against average is, and it's going to be low for the season the way they're playing.
And to be fair, from aesthetics or someone just casually looking at the score, a 4-1 result like when you shut someone out, it just seems so much more impressive than 6-1 and I don't know, 5-1 and 8-1. To me, they're different, but they're not that drastically different. But a clean sheet does speak volumes. It speaks to a dominant performance, a comprehensive defensive showcase, and I think that's where Doradus will put their priorities right now.
From a coaching standpoint, I'll take the 4-0 versus the 5-1 every time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then from the Petrolero standpoint, if I'm coaching, I'm sending numbers forward. I want a goal. I want that for the boys to feel better about themselves, a little bit of momentum going forward, get somebody else into the stat sheet.
This one's pinged up to the top of the 18. Centeno will comfortably collect.
It was a bending ball, bending towards his runner. Just not quite enough spin on that ball. Certainly the right idea, though. Looked pretty from up here.
This one flicked on, but no recipients on the end of it. Good battle here. And that one travels over the touchline. Good work from
We have just
Kabani.
hit the 91st minute, folks. We've not seen any indication from the ref as to what he's adding. We'd be very surprised if that's more than 1 or 2 minutes.
I thought that we might have the final whistle there, but no, just a set piece.
We had a little bit of a WWE match going on over here on near the side. Players tired, a little frustrated, fighting for position, arms a little high on both sides.
Serrano and Kabani are the ones getting addressed here. Now it's Najuki came in and offered his input, promptly got the yellow card.
Got rewarded for his input.
It's funny, there was already a dialogue going, and it seemed like it was a reasonable dialogue, and then I don't know what was said from Najuki, but whatever it was quickly dealt with a yellow card, so it was probably not invited dialogue or input from Najuki, but this one's almost over. It would be a shame to see any of these players pick up a suspension or anything of the like. Oh, this is a lovely run from Kabani. Kabani gets rid of it. And Doradus still on the ball. Here comes Tesfaye. Not able to hang on. Tesfaye getting the ball back from his colleague, now squared. Kabani getting this off his feet, top of the 18. What can Doradus find? It's threaded in,
That's
beautiful
a beautiful ball.
And how has that not gone in? Tesfaye.
Just to the side. They think it's a corner. The AR has called a goal kick. Boy, he had a man out here in the right flank that looked like that was the better option, and then he slotted just a beautiful ball down the middle, found his man open, got a solid foot on it.
It did look like that actually might have been a goal-saving challenge from the defender. The more I look at the replay, might have potentially been a corner kick, but I don't say that to cast shade on the center official. I just more so wanted to give the defender the credit that he might have actually made a great challenge, and also the attacker. That's why it looked like such a stunning miss. No, it actually was on frame, but that isn't really going to affect a whole lot, and the final result is 4-0. Doradus, a comprehensive result, and they are in the win sheet collecting their 3 points. Any final input on this match, Matt?
No, I think it was a good game. Again, I certainly think it was closer than the 4-0 score would indicate, but well played, good match. Again, we think it was one. Both teams carried themselves very professionally, a lot of class, a lot of character. This Doradus squad is going to be somebody to really contend with moving forward.
Yeah.
And they're showing that even early on in their UPSL history.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you joining us here on DMV Sports Media Live on YouTube and our coverage of the UPSL. It has been an exciting day, albeit not the closest of matches we've covered today, but some comprehensive results. We wish everyone who is celebrating a happy Easter tomorrow, and for everyone else, a happy Sunday. We will have one match live at 8 p.m. That's Los Toros and Aegean Hawks in the American Premier League. So, again, DMV Sports Media gives you full carte blanche to hijack the TV at your family gathering and put on the live broadcast of Los Toros Aegean Hawks. We'll see you there. And, of course, if you haven't done so already, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel in order to see more and help our growing community. And, of course, liking this video will help others find it in the algorithm. I'm Noah Walker, signing off with my co-anchor tonight, Mr. Matt Geyer. Matt, thank you for the time. Any final words for the people out there?
No, again, we just want to offer you the opportunity. If you've got a business, we would love to put your advertisement on the DMV channel. Great chance for you to reach and support your community and get the word out.
Absolutely. And with that, we're going to sign off. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. Take care. We'll see you